I've presented to executive teams and boards, and I've been the executive in the room when other people have presented. Most technical leaders get this wrong when they present to senior leaders and feel personally slighted when the executives don't take their advice. So in this video, I'm going to break it down for you exactly why experts get ignored, even when they're technically right. And I'll share a 4-step framework that gets executives to lean in and listen to your presentation. And I'm also going to share the one subtle mistake that you're likely making that makes your advice seem risky to an executive without you even realizing it. I'm Tia A. Williams, a former tech SaaS executive who led a team of 100 globally remote people through major change, including acquisitions. I share insights like these based on my real-world experiences and not theory. Here's the reality that executives care about: impact and outcomes, not technical nuances. They are time compressed and making high-stakes decisions all day long. The mistake that most experts make is that they present like they're talking to a group of peers who are interested in the technical details. They spend 12 minutes walking through complex system diagrams when what executives want is the punchline first: the impact, the risk, the cost, the alternatives, and the why behind the primary recommendation. Once that's presented, you can summarize technical information written in business outcomes to back up the data that you've presented. Put any more technical detail slides at the end in an appendix. This is a real power move. When an executive asks a deep technical question and you can say, "I have a slide for that," and flip straight to it, you look like a genius. It shows you did the work without bogging down the main presentation. If you don't lead in this way, you'll see execs losing interest or they start to ask impatient questions. Don't take it personal. Executives aren't grading your analysis or your technical detail. They need specific data to decide what to do. You need to be clear on the role that you have in the room. Your job is to understand the technical detail. Their job is to assess the risks, impact, and make a decision on what's best for the entire company to move forward. So the first rule is to flip the script. Start with the answer. In the military and high-level consulting, they call this bluff. Bottom line up front. If you can't give that recommendation in the first 20 seconds, you're not ready to present to executives. The formula is simple. State the problem, state your recommendation, state the immediate business impact, and state exactly what you need and state exactly what you're trying to get approved. For example, our current legacy system is causing 30% of our downtime. I recommend that we migrate to option A. This reduces our security risk by 40% and protects Q4 revenue. To do this, I need approval for 2 headcount and $50,000 in budget. You see the difference? You started with the pain, so they care about the cure. This brings us to the second trap, the curse of knowledge. Experts naturally assume shared context. They speak in internal shorthand and technical jargon. Executives don't ignore you because they hate detail. They ignore you because you're speaking a different language that they don't understand. You need to build a translation layer. Replace internal acronyms with business outcomes. For example, don't say we need to refactor the code to reduce technical debt. That means nothing to your CEO. Instead, say we need to update the system to prevent crashes during the Black Friday rush. That is a language that your executives understand. It replaced architecture with revenue risk. And don't do walls of text on your slides. Just don't. Use a visual, a chart, or a single big number. Put the explanation in your mouth, not on the slides. If you're finding this helpful so far, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss the next video on practical leadership strategies. So remember, the framework that I mentioned at the start. How do you actually structure the pitch so you don't get interrupted? Don't give 12 considerations. Give them 2 options and a recommendation. I use a framework called SCQA: situation, complication, question, and answer. It looks like this. The situation: we're scaling usage 40% quarter over quarter. The complication: our current infrastructure increases outage risk and cost. The question: how do we protect revenue while scaling? And the answer: we have option A and option B. I recommend option A because it mitigates the risk faster. Notice I used the word risk. This is the subtle mistake that I teased earlier. Even when executives want growth, They're constantly scanning for the downside. They're risk managers first and foremost. If you present a plan that sounds like pure optimism, it comes off a little untrustworthy. Your credibility jumps when you say, here's the top 2 risks with this plan, and here's how we mitigate those risks. They aren't buying your optimism, they're buying your control of the situation. And finally, let's close the loop on what happens when they say no. You pitch your heart out, you've got the data, you have the right technical solution, and the executive team decides to go in a different direction. Don't take it personal. Sometimes the best answer technically is not the right answer for the business at that moment. Maybe there's a cash flow constraint that you don't see. Maybe there's a strategic partnership in the works that makes your solution obsolete next year. If they reject your recommendation, it doesn't mean that you failed. It usually means that they're solving for a variable that you don't have visibility into. Your job is to provide the clarity, the trade-offs, and the professional recommendation. Once you've done that, your job is done. This is how you stop being ignored and start being the person that they turn to for answers. If you want to master this kind of executive presence, join me in my high-performing leadership mastermind. We practice these pitches so you can walk into the room with total confidence. The link is in the description.